the final project. So everything that we have done so far this year has boiled down to what we're going to do now, and we are going to, in the end, be able to what we said we were going to at the beginning of the year when you were taking a look at this class on day one, and I said you're going to be able to describe the history of information technology and its associated disciplines. We've done that. Identify and explain the specialty areas and basic components of information technology. We've done that. Explain the information technology profession and available career paths. We've done all that. And this is where we're going to apply your introductory skills and concepts related to productivity applications, information management, digital media, web technologies, programming, networking, and systems administration. So you're going to demonstrate your college level communication, coordination, and collaboration skills here with this group project that we have finally been waiting for. So a basic overview of what we're going to do here is I'm just going to read this right here. This is a really fun project. You're going to create a final video presentation of your website showcasing your prototypes in a professional manner as if you were speaking directly to potential customers or investors that you will then embed on your website. So the video that you're going to be taking or screen capturing and narrating, you're going to actually embed afterward on your website. So you're also going to fill out an email template that is on Moodle that is going to be sent potentially or hypothetically to customers or investors that sort of pitch your prototype. So if it's a customer, you want them to buy your product, or if it's an investor, you want them to invest money in. So this is an email that you're going to, and here's the template here. This is an email that you're going to fill out, and you're really going to drive home the point of your sales pitch. You're going to clearly state what you're all about, what your product does, what problems it solves, what demographic you're targeting, who you tested it on, and you're going to state in the troubleshooting process, people that have viewed your website, they're going to give you feedback, and they're going to critique what you've done and offer up some feedback on any changes that need to be made. And then in this email here, you will state, and in the video, any changes that you have made, any changes that you're considering making in the future, any changes you want to make in the future, you're going to put that in here too. And I'll get into that momentarily. But going back to the rubric first, the materials you're going to need is just the screen recording software that's on your laptop already, the email template, which is on Moodle, the rubric that's on Moodle. I'm going to go over that here in a moment. Your prototype website that you've been working on in your group, and make sure that your link can be viewed by someone other than you. So essentially, you're just going to upload the site and make sure you send the link to a couple people and they can check it out, and it's not just a private video link. So when you send it to me, I want to be able to see what is on the website. So just going through here, I'm just going to quickly go over this because this is available to you on Moodle. So I am just going to go through here and say basically rough over this really quick. So there's an introduction, and you're going to this is what you want to do in the introduction. So you're going to lead with the name of your product and who you are. So you want to make sure that you do that. Make sure that you say that this is my product and this is who I am. You don't want to go into this presentation and have the customer or the investor watching this video and not know what is going on. So you have to clearly state what your product does, and you want to describe a problem that your product solves. That's the big thing here. There's a problem and your product solves this. So you have to make sure that you describe that clearly so it's easy to understand for somebody. You don't want somebody to work too hard at understanding what the heck is going on and what your product does. And then here, optional if time allows, describe what makes your product different. The prototype walkthrough, you're going to describe just one scenario of what includes a specific task. So you show how the task can be completed by user with a screen by walkthrough. So you're basically you're describing just one scenario of a user experience of your prototype on the website. So what does it look like in one scenario of you going through and exploring your prototype on this website? Optional as time allows. Again, you want to include additional tasks or scenarios of use. So one is okay, but if you can include more than that in time allows, that's very good. The more, the merrier. In conclusion, you want to summarize your major innovations in the prototype, like I was saying. Describe any future work, like I was saying, on the design going forward that will help the viewer understand what the high fidelity product will look like. So you want to paint a picture in the potential customer or investor's mind of how good this will potentially look. And again, optional if time allows, describe how usability testing led to specific changes or innovations. So the big part right here is end with a grand take-home message. You want to leave your customer with a big reason, the big reason here as to why they need to buy from you, buy your product, or invest. And here the delivery and overall presentation, and what this is worth up in here. So the knowledge base is 5 points, was the material selected for presentation appropriate to the topic. You want to only include anything that's relevant to what you're talking about and what is on your website. You don't want to include anything to like My Little Ponies if your website prototype is dealing with some app and a calorie counter or something like that. Was enough essential information given to allow the audience to effectively evaluate the prototype? You don't want to give a presentation where you give minimal information, so the person viewing the presentation has to figure it out and work hard to understand what's going on. That's just where you're going to lose somebody. So critical thinking, appropriate referencing of statements that is, was not generated by presenter. References may be footnotes on the slides. So you want to have so an example here is according to Wired magazine. So you just want to give validation to your presentation, and references in any claims that you're making. So did the presenter make logical recommendations for further design iterations? So you want to make sure that you say, this is what we plan on doing, the innovations we plan on making to the prototype or to the product itself. Did the main conclusion of the presentation follow the material presented without bringing up a new use case that needs additional explanation? You don't want to leave the person, the viewer, with any questions. You want to pick what you're talking about and just drive home that point and explain thoroughly what you're talking about. You don't want to present a new case that needs additional explanation. So speaking and style delivery here, you want to speak clearly so we can understand you. You don't want to make somebody work too hard at figuring out what you're saying. So you want to make sure that you speak clearly. So pick a speaker in your group that can talk clearly and talks well. So blah blah blah. Let's see, audio visual 5 points. The screens, figures, and images are clear. You want to make sure everything looks great and is appropriately labeled. You don't want to leave anything vague on the screen. So again, you don't want to create any questions in the viewer's mind to figure out what is being presented to them. You want to make sure everything is clear and readable. Audio visual components support the main points as well. So you want to make sure that you're able to be heard clearly, and if you have bad audio or visual, you want to make sure that you take care of that, and I can help you with that. So that is the rubric. This is going to be available, or this is the overview. This is going to be available on Moodle. Now, and here's the template. That as well is going to be on Moodle. So what I'm going to do next is go through the rubric really quick, and then I want to show you an example of a student's project. So the initial pitch, you want to start with the initial pitch and clearly state, like I said, what is going on, what your product does, and then the problem statement. You want to clearly describe or explain the problem that you are solving. You want to make sure that that is easy to understand, and the product reliability, viability, clear description of who the product was tested with. You want to make sure that you clearly explain what demographic you tested this with and what you learned about your product and the changes that you either made to the design, that you made to your design based on that testing. And moving forward, best qualities of the product have been pitched, so you want to make sure that you sell this prototype, sell the best points of it, so you are just really making this thing look great. The video introduction leads with name of product. Make sure you do that. You don't want to start the video where you don't explain what the viewer is being presented. You want to make sure that you start with your name, who you are, and what the product is. And the outcome video prototype walkthrough. So this is the scenario that you're going to describe. You want to make sure that you clearly go over that. And this is pretty much everything that I was just going over a little while ago with the actual points being presented here. So the video conclusion summarizes the major innovations. So you're just going over what you're going to add to or any future work that you're going to add. And the overall presentation video demonstrates knowledge-based critical thinking speaking clearly, and delivery is clear, audio visual is clear, understanding of what you're doing and presenting is clear. So you want to make sure that I get the impression that you know what you are doing and you did a good job, and everything is easy to understand and spoken clearly. So speaking of the presentation here, this is a website that a student created. In the beginning, they're starting with their sales pitch. I'm sorry, not the sales pitch, but they're starting with the lead-in is the product and their name, and they're explaining what is going on, what their product does, and what problem it solves. And as they move forward, their website is very professional looking, and they go through the content is related only to what their prototype is. There's nothing on this website that has nothing to do with what they're talking about. As I expand the screen here. And as you move forward, they're describing an experience as somebody going onto this website and trying to find movies to watch. So as you see, this is the next page, and it is clearly related to what they're talking about. It's uniform. I apologize. It is relatable to the last page. It doesn't look like a completely brand new website. And as you move forward, they talk about everything that was covered in the rubric clearly. The presentation is easy to understand. I know exactly what the product is doing. I know what this problem is being solved. And I can tell clearly that these people took their time. They planned it out well. The audio is perfect. I will have this example also available on Moodle. The audio is perfect. The video is clear. The presentation was awesome. And the design is great, and they hit all the points in the rubric. So you want to make sure that you have the rubric. You want to make sure that you go through the rubric while you are planning out your presentation, and it's always a good idea to have a script while you're doing this. You don't have to, but I recommend it, especially for when you go to record. You want to practice this a couple times and then go to record with a script just in case, so you don't stumble, and you want to make sure that you hit all the points on the rubric. So that is the project. Everything that you need is available on Moodle, and I am here for everything that you need. Any questions that you have. So that is everything at the end of this. You should have a fully functioning website that has embedded in it the prototype of the video presentation that you're making. Everything is clearly pitched to either a customer or an investor. And again, if you need help, I'm here for you. So I hope you have fun. This is a great project, and this is putting to test everything that you guys have learned this year. So have fun.